The difficulties in crafting a budget have left many state employees feeling powerless when it comes to planning their budgets next year. In particular, educators are in a holding pattern, not knowing if they will once again have to make deep cuts, while some public school districts are already taking drastic measures.
Members of the Tulsa School Board this week did something they hated to do but felt they had no other choice. The board voted to close 3 schools by consolidating the students on 2 other campuses. The board also eliminated 37 teaching positions in anticipation of a $12 million reduction in state aid. Sand Springs, a much smaller district, is eliminating 15 staff members. That is on top of what the district suffered this current school year. Sherry Durkee is the superintendent of Sand Springs Schools.
Last year we cut around $1.2 million out of our budget for fiscal year 17. With that were 51 positions from administration. We started at the top and worked our way down to custodial.
She says the district can't make a decision on next year's budget until lawmakers let them know how much money they will have to work with. This is what is known now.
Since our midterm adjustment for state aid, to date, we are $700,000 shy of what we thought we were going to get in state aid at the beginning of the year.
Durkee says class sizes at Charles Page High School are already too large, 30 or more in a classroom, and educators are teaching extra school periods.
If we stack classes, which is what we're doing, with 30 or so students per hour, it is feasible for an English teacher teaching junior writing to be actually grading students to a tune of 180 kids per day.
She says while teachers are still giving their all and then some, inaction by the legislature has been demoralizing.
Just that expectation of more and more and more, and creating this kind of level of burnout and really a little bit of disparity in regard to wages. And they're not really asking for more money necessarily, but it certainly does diminish job production and how I feel about what I'm doing.
Morale at Justice Tiowa School was at an all-time low as the school year ended on Wednesday.
It makes a guy like me want to go do something else.
Superintendent David Garut has devoted his whole life to education, and it pains him to see what teachers are up against.
So we have less teachers teaching more kids, but expecting better results.
Garut says there were 28 students in one second grade class this year, well over the standard of 21. He says the majority of lawmakers should be voted out of office because of their failure to adequately fund education and other state services.
They put playing politics first over our kids. We've got plenty of resources in our state to fund it. If it would just, they get over who's a Democrat and who's a Republican, and let's take care of our kids.
In the Collinsville School District, Superintendent Lance West expresses what many others feel.
Infuriating, disgusted, discouraged, it's unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable to me that grown adults can't, that are elected to make decisions based on what our state needs, can't get together.
West says the Collinsville School District has put next year's budget planning on hold as they wait for the legislature to do something.
I don't know what else we can cut. Our administrative costs are as low as they've ever been. Our payroll numbers are as low as they've ever been. There's just nothing else.
And West says teachers never held their breath on getting that promised pay raise.
We knew they weren't going to get a raise this year. They could talk all they wanted to in Oklahoma City. That was impossible. I mean, you can't bleed a turnip. When you're almost $1 billion in the hole, and to think that you're going to raise enough to, hold education harmless and leave us at a flat budget, and then also come up with this $300 million for a teacher raise, that was ridiculous. It wasn't going to happen, and they knew it. That was just grandstanding.
He and other educators hope lawmakers don't go into a special session because it's estimated it will cost taxpayers more than $30,000 a day, nearly the cost of an entire year's salary for a starting teacher.